My wife and my childhood friend announced it. On my wife Jenny's birthday night, I waited up till early morning, but she never came home. Instead, I found out about her and her beloved Mark's announcement trending on Weibo. The site nearly crashed that night. Tons of netizens were liking and congratulating their posts. I casually dropped a comment, "Wish you happiness." Before that, I had made countless calls, but they all went unanswered. After I left that comment, she called me. To accuse me, she said, "It's just for film promotion. We're just friends. Don't make a fuss." At that moment, I knew I needed a divorce. When Jenny got home, I was clumsily packing my stuff. Because of her busy job in the entertainment industry, we've been seeing less and less of each other. Yesterday was her birthday. She called and said she wanted to celebrate at home. So I prepared gifts and all sorts of decorations ahead of time. Full of excitement, I got up early to cook a table full of her favorite dishes, but waited until early morning, and she still hadn't returned. Instead, I got a trending announcement about her and her sweetheart. I sat on the couch alone all night, sleepless, looking at the things I had painstakingly prepared. I'd hoped to surprise Jenny. Now it just felt ironic. Looking at the untouched food and cake, I saw a flash of guilt in Jenny's eyes. The cake I had driven halfway across the city just to get because she liked it. Sadly, all wasted. "Jenny, let's get a divorce." I stared at her, hoping for a trace of sadness or pain on her face, but there was none. Her eyes were indifferent. Her face showed no hint of emotion. She was sure I was just throwing a tantrum. She calmly took the wrapped cake and put it in front of me, sounding a bit playful. "I told you, didn't I? The trending post was just for promotion. The pictures are just from the set. This cake is from your favorite place. I got you some." She glanced at the already melted and unrecognizable cake on the table, and disdainfully said, "This cake is so ugly. It can't be eaten anymore. Just throw it away." Hearing her words, I laughed in disbelief. I never thought the birthday cake I specially bought for her was just garbage in her eyes. I looked at the cake, didn't open it, but seriously said to her, "Jenny, I'm your husband. Yesterday you went public with someone else and humiliated me, and you still want me to swallow my anger?" Jenny's face turned serious. With pursed lips, she said, "David, what nonsense are you talking about? I've explained already. Stop pushing your luck." Jenny was a bit annoyed. In the past, whenever I got upset, she'd buy me something and say a few words, and I'd let it go. But not this time. I didn't even like the cake from that place. Plus, it was a spot she often visited with Mark. Seeing my silence, Jenny sneered, "David, I told you from the start, if Mark hadn't gone abroad, if not for that accident, we wouldn't have gotten married. You didn't forget, did you?" Even though I knew she never wanted to marry me, it still hurt hearing her say it. Jenny, Mark, and I met in college. I had a crush on Jenny from the first time I saw her. I even introduced her to Mark. The three of us became close friends. I noticed them getting closer, started fading into the background, and by then it was too late. They became a campus celebrity couple. I kept my feelings to myself. For some reason, the year we graduated, Jenny and Mark broke up. Mark went abroad to further his acting studies. After Mark left, Jenny changed a lot. She went into the entertainment field, taking on as many roles as possible. I stayed by her side as a friend, afraid she'd be mistreated. I'd have meals and socialize with her, even drank on her behalf. From the constant drinking, I ended up with stomach issues. Since she couldn't cook, I learned to make various dishes for her, left with scars from hot oil burns. She's charming and talented. I even used my own family resources to introduce her to directors. Soon, she went from a small-time extra to a sought-after newcomer actress. Because of a drunken accident, we ended up together. I'd liked her for so long, so I proposed to take responsibility. After some hesitation, she agreed, and I was thrilled. I thought my sincerity and efforts had moved her. But not many people knew about our marriage. A few times, I wanted her to publicly announce it, but she just frowned coldly. My career's on the rise, announcing it wouldn't be good for either of us. After the wedding, I gradually gave up directing, only occasionally filming, most of my time spent staying by her side. All these years, I thought she might have at least a bit of feeling for me. Just a little. Seeing me silent, Jenny's face lost any hint of amusement. I'm a bit tired. I'll shower and rest. I have to head to the set tonight. Watching her retreating back, I was lost in thought. After Mark returned, he quickly became the hottest new actor with his looks. Jenny pretended not to care at first, but I knew she did. Otherwise, she wouldn't have gone out of her way to be in a movie for him. I started clearing up the table, packing everything, throwing it all in the trash. I was moving my bedding and clothes out of the main bedroom, when Jenny, fresh from the shower, caught me. She looked at me with mockery. What's this fuss about now? Planning a separate bedroom? Yes, I think we should take a break. She frowned and said coldly, whatever you say. After saying that, she turned around and went back to her room. I moved my stuff into the guest room and fell onto the bed, hoping to get some sleep. Ever since Mark came back, Jenny started coming home really late. I call her, and she'd just say she was still on set filming. But until she got home, I couldn't really sleep. I was scared the happiness I had stolen would be taken away again. Once I couldn't help calling Jenny. All she said was, "Can't sleep? Take a sleeping pill," and then hung up. So, lately I've been relying on sleeping pills to fall asleep. I thought after everything that happened yesterday, I'd have trouble sleeping. Surprisingly, I fell asleep pretty quickly. When I finally woke up, it was almost dusk. Jenny had left at some point without me noticing. I swiped my phone for a bit, and bam, another trending topic appeared. Newly crowned actress cheating with rookie actor. Turns out the woman is married, and the guy is the other man. There were photos of her with Mark, plus a pic of Jenny and me sneaking into the civil affairs office. The internet went crazy. The comment section was buzzing with speculation. Even my past as a director got dug up by netizens. Some people went to Mark's page just to roast him. Others, being over the top, even went as far as sending him floral wreaths. Jenny called me a rarity, but it was about Mark. "David, can you clear things up? This isn't looking good for Mark. He's just getting popular. Say we're not married, that we're just friends, and the civil office thing was just for some show." Listening to her, my heart sank. Do you really care that much about him getting hurt, Jenny? Isn't what you're doing too much? We're the married ones. There was silence on the other end for a few seconds. Then a sneer. "David, this isn't a discussion. I'm telling you." In no time, all talk online about Mark being a homewrecker disappeared. Jenny also posted a clarification saying we were just longtime friends and tagged me. Cornered, I had to post a statement saying Jenny and I were just friends too. Since then, Jenny and I haven't spoken. I didn't bother calling her. It's like we entered a cold war. Whenever we fought, I was always the first to give in. She never apologized because she knew I couldn't let her go. One day, Jenny called me out of the blue. "The crew's having a wrap-up party today. I'll send you the address. Pick me up later." When Jenny was filming, I'd often visit her on set, even attended a few of her wrap-up parties. But she always insisted we were just friends. Though no one really knew our true relationship, people could tell things were more intimate. But this time was different. Before, it was me who had to beg Jenny to bring me along. This time she called to invite me. I felt puzzled but also had a tiny glimmer of hope. I carefully picked out a light-colored suit she had given me for my birthday. She said I looked good in lighter shades. Just as I finished getting ready, Jenny's car pulled up downstairs. I got a message and went outside. Jenny was leaning against the car, waiting for me. I thought she'd be in a van, but she drove herself. A glint of amusement flickered in her eyes when she saw me but quickly faded. She eyed my suit thoughtfully. I found it odd, but before I could ask, a cheerful voice interrupted. "David, long time no see." Mark, sitting in the passenger seat, wore a suit a similar hue. His handsome face smiled brightly. "A real pretty boy. Oh, I insisted on tagging along with Jenny to pick you up. Hope you don't mind." Then he winked at Jenny. No wonder Jenny's look was peculiar earlier. No wonder she liked seeing me in light colors. Mark preferred them. Our suits matched, but his fit way better. In his presence, I felt like a cheap clown. I clenched my fists, forcing a smile. Long time no see. His smile stayed, eyes laced with some hidden meaning. Also, I haven't thanked you yet. If you hadn't clarified things, I'd still be hounded by angry netizens. The memory pricked my heart a bit. As I faltered for a response, Jenny gently said to him, "Let's talk in the car or we'll be late." Mark smiled at her warmly. "Jenny, you're always so punctual. Even on our dates, you never were late." Jenny playfully pouted, then hopped into the driver's seat. Watching their interaction, I stood aside quietly, knowing my smile must have looked dreadful. But somehow, even though they broke up and Jenny is my wife, I felt so out of place. Just like back in school, whenever Mark was around, Jenny's attention was solely on him. Suppressing the bitterness, I climbed into the back seat. The whole drive, Mark animatedly chatted with me. He mentioned funny stories about him and Jenny on set. He even spoke about the crew throwing him a surprise birthday party. His eyes were full of pride, pretending to sound regretful. "David, you wouldn't believe it. Jenny and the crew kept it a secret from me for a surprise. It would have been great if you were there. She even brought some old classmates. But Jenny said you were too busy with work." I was taken aback, meeting Jenny's eyes in the rearview mirror. Her gaze was hard to read, offering no explanation. I forced a bitter smile. Yeah, I was swamped with work. At the hotel, Mark was the first to get out of the car. He rushed to the driver's side to open the door for Jenny, helping her out. They were so caught up in their moment that they didn't notice something felt off. They walked ahead side by side, while I quietly followed behind them. As we walked into the hotel, a staff member showed us to our private room. On our way, a fan recognized them and came up to ask for autographs. As we walked into the room, someone suddenly shouted from behind, "Jenny, Mark, you two really look perfect together. Be happy." Jenny opened her mouth but didn't explain. Mark just gave a smile, accepting the compliment. I silently watched them. They really did look perfect, a golden couple from school days to now. Some crew members knew my relationship with Jenny wasn't just a simple friendship. When they heard that shout, their expressions froze, an awkward smile flickering across their faces. Jenny's manager, aware of my marital relationship with her, quickly changed the subject, seeing my displeasure. "David, you're here too. Long time no see." I knew they were trying to save me from the awkward moment, so I gratefully smiled and followed their lead. "Long time no see." The waiter led us to the table. Because I came with Jenny, I sat at her table. Jenny sat down first, and Mark naturally took the seat next to her. I watched them, choosing not to speak, but instead took a seat across from them. Right beside me was Stella, the fourth lead in the drama, a rising star who just gained a lot of fans with her sweet and innocent look. Seeing me, Stella turned to greet, "Long time no see, David Sr." Slightly surprised, I asked, "You know me?" She chuckled, her dimples showing, sounding a bit excited. "At last month's school reunion, you gave a speech as an outstanding alumni, truly set a benchmark for us juniors." Mentioning the reunion, I suddenly remembered inviting Jenny to join, but she used filming as an excuse to decline. Yet, on that very day, I saw her all dressed up at the event with Mark. I quietly followed them, watching as they visited our old teachers and classmates together. "Jenny, who would have thought? You and Mark, the golden couple, still together? Wedding bells soon. Huh? Remember to invite us." Hearing this, Mark smiled, acknowledging. Jenny shyly leaned on his shoulder. Everyone around shared a knowing smile. Back in the moment, Stella kept chatting. "This is my first drama, acting with the award-winning Jenny. Even without many scenes, I'm thrilled." Her enthusiasm was endearing, and I couldn't help but feel nostalgic about the energy of youth. "But why aren't you directing anymore, Senior? We watched one of your films at school. It was great." I forced a smile, thoughts consumed. Noticing my change in demeanor, Stella shifted the subject, and we continued chatting. Her lively nature lifted my spirits. Meanwhile, Jenny, who had been chatting with the director, glanced over and noticed I was engrossed in conversation with another woman. Her eyebrows knitted slightly, eyes signaling displeasure and warning. Confused by her reaction, I wondered what was bothering her. She's openly with Mark, while Stella and I were innocently chatting. The director, sensing the shift, raised his glass. Come on, today's the rap party. I'll down a drink first. Everyone, help yourselves. The lively atmosphere returned as people picked up their glasses. Halfway through the party, the associate director, now tipsy, approached Mark with his glass. Mark, have a drink with me. Your performance was excellent. Drink up and there'll be more great roles for you. The room quieted. Everyone exchanged nervous glances. This associate director had a reputation for bullying new actors on set, but his connections made him hard to confront. Mark's face showed discomfort. He didn't want to drink, but also didn't want to offend him. Jenny took the glass with a smile. Our new actor doesn't have a strong tolerance. I'll drink this one for him, and downed it in one go. Mark looked at her admiringly. The associate director's expression darkened, and the vibe turned icy. Stella and I exchanged a baffled look, unsure of what was unfolding. The director quickly intervened with his own glass raised. Our award-winning actress sure can hold her drink. Let's all toast to that. Some staff playfully teased Jenny for caring about newcomers, and the mood lightened again, as though nothing had happened. Watching everyone engage in lively conversation, I felt a bit suffocated and decided to step out to get some air. In the restroom, I turned on the faucet and splashed cold water on my face, clearing my muddled thoughts. Returning to the room, just as I sat back down, Mark with a smile approached me with his glass. David, a toast to you. Thanks for your help with the trending topic, and for always looking after Jenny while I was abroad. Here's to you. He drank it all at once. Holding my suddenly uncomfortable stomach, I replied softly, not feeling great today. Can't drink. I'll just toast with tea instead. The moment I said that, Jenny raised an eyebrow. You can't drink, David? I remember you holding your liquor well at social events. She seemed oblivious to the fact that ever since I got stomach problems, I've been avoiding alcohol. Mark's eyes darted around. Then he grabbed the bottle and filled the empty glass on my table. He handed it to me with an unwavering smile, but his eyes were all challenge. Yeah, David, I remember when you used to drink a lot back in the day. Long time no see, and you won't even give me this? With me just sitting there, Jenny didn't seem happy either. I took a deep breath, grabbed the glass from his hand, and downed it. I held the glass high and looked at Jenny and Mark. Satisfied? The room went silent. Then suddenly there was a clap. It was Stella behind me saying, David, you really can hold your liquor. I gave her a grateful look. Others caught on and started clapping too. The mood lifted a bit. Mark gave a knowing grin and returned to sit by Jenny. The alcohol hit my stomach like fire. Stella noticed my pale face and asked, You okay? I waved her off, indicating I was fine. She looked at me, then at Jenny and Mark, hesitated. You and Jenny, I chuckled. Just like you think. I glanced at Jenny again. She was still laughing with Mark, shielding him from drinks. I wanted to escape. That tenderness in her eyes was never for me. She didn't see me, my discomfort. Unlike Stella, who was a stranger. I gave up, got up, and left without looking back. Back home, I started packing. The place brought back many memories. I had bought all sorts of couple stuff, thinking it made it feel like a home. But my persistence no longer meant anything. I thought if I tried hard enough, one day I'd warm Jenny's heart. Just when I thought she was finally coming around, Mark returned and I was back to square one. Never mind. I didn't care anymore. As I was about to leave with my suitcase, Mark came in using the code. I was surprised. Jenny actually gave him the house code. I thought this was supposed to be mine and her place. Mark smiled slightly. David, I heard you weren't feeling well, so I came to check on you. Jenny's on the phone downstairs, so I came up. He loosened his tie, showing off some love bites on his neck. His gesture was hard to ignore. I gave a cold laugh. Jenny's not here. You can drop the act. Mark closed the door, walked past me, and sat on the couch, his eyes full of mockery. David, don't think too highly of yourself. As long as I'm back, Jenny will leave you for me without hesitation. My fault for going abroad being stubborn, that's why she married you out of spite. As I bowed my head in silence, Mark continued. Oh, and that cake shop she loves, we used to go there during dates. She says you look good in light colors. I wear them often, so you know what I mean? I sneered. He came here to provoke me and I had to hold my ground. So what? I'm her husband, you're just the other guy. He looked at me and laughed. David, the one who's not loved is the third party. His words stunned me, hitting hard. Anger flared up. I was ready to fight back, but he suddenly spoke softly. Jenny, you're back, he said warmly. Sorry, made David angry. He's packing to leave. I turned to see Jenny's cold expression, face stern as she confronted me. David, what's this about? Can you stop being jealous all the time? I stared at her, at the smudged lipstick, feeling mocked. Jenny, when I mentioned divorce last time, I meant it. I tossed the freshly printed divorce papers at her. If there's no issue, just sign them. She brushed past the paperwork, sat down on the couch. You're making a scene. I'm tired. Don't want to argue. I had Mark check on you, why fight with him? Her words made me livid. I didn't get it. With Mark back, and me willing to let go, why didn't this please her? I'm not making a scene. Just giving you two a clear path. Said what I needed to, trying not to drag this out. Sign the papers. I'll see you at the Civil Affairs office in a month. Before she could respond, I walked out. Behind, I heard Mark's gentle voice. Jenny, aren't you going to comfort David? No need. Her voice was firm. He'll be back. He can't leave me. I paused briefly, then kept walking. She believed I'd never leave her, that I'd always come running back the moment I left. But she was wrong. I'd reached my limit and only wanted to go. After leaving home, I checked into a hotel for a month. Even though I'd spent years with Jenny, I hadn't fully given up my work. Whether she believed it or not, I could still live well without her. When I married Jenny and chose to semi-retire, my mentor, Henry, advised me against it. I didn't listen. Henry was like a father figure to me. Back in school, he guided me as I directed a renowned short film. It's about time I visit him and apologize. When he saw me, he looked surprised, but not entirely. I was carrying a gift, smiling cheekily. Hey teacher, I heard you retired. I came to see you, I said. Mr. Henry gave a cold snort. Now you remember me. Huh? He said, opening the door and heading inside. Come on in. I shared with him my experiences from the past few years. Of course, I kept some things to myself. Feigning anger, he said, feeling sorry now, are you? There aren't that many regret pills in the world. If you'd kept pushing in the directing field, you'd be famous by now. I knew he felt sorry for me, so I forced a smile. Yeah, I know. He pretended not to care. I've got a great script here. They asked me to shoot it, but I'm old. I'm leaving this chance for you young people. He handed me a business card. I looked at him, and my eyes got a bit misty. Just as I was about to thank him, Henry stood up, waved his hand, and with a smile said, old folks get sleepy easily. You should go home. After leaving his house, I started preparing for the new movie. They wanted Jenny for the lead female role, thinking her fame would draw attention. But I turned them down, saying she wasn't the right fit. I had my own vision. I didn't need a big-name celebrity. I needed someone truly right for the role. Since this was supposed to be Mr. Henry's project, but he gave it to an unknown like me, people were skeptical. But as Henry's chosen director, they couldn't criticize me openly. I stayed firm on my decision to invite Stella. When she got my call, she was thrilled and thanked me repeatedly. David, I'll work really hard. I won't let you down. On the first day of shooting, I knew I had made the right choice. She might be new, but she had talent and charisma. Unexpectedly, I ran into Jenny and Mark on set. I'd heard they were working together on another project. While I was away from home, Jenny felt odd without someone there to cook for her, leave the lights on, or prepare honey water for her hangovers. She found herself thinking about me often. Jenny found out that I hadn't chosen her but Stella instead. Everyone wanted a part in the film because it had a great script and many well-known industry veterans. Although she was a renowned actress, who ever thinks they're famous enough? She wanted to say that she wasn't mad and was okay if I didn't want to work hard. She'd continue to support me. So she came to the set to see me. But seeing me laughing and talking with Stella changed her mind. She looked at me, eyes filled with disdain. David, just come back to me. Okay? It's been a long time since you've directed. Don't embarrass yourself. Mark chimed in, David, how could you let someone else act in this film? Jenny should be the lead. And honestly, can Stella really outact Jenny? He glanced at Stella smugly. Stella knew that without me, she wouldn't have gotten the role. So hearing this made her a bit down. Watching the two of them, I couldn't help but find it amusing. My movie, my choice. Besides, I don't think Stella is any worse than some others, I said. Hearing this, Stella's eyes sparkled. Jenny, seeing me defend Stella, looked hurt. She stared at me for a few moments, seemed to realize something, and her face turned dark before she left. I was just baffled. They never sought me out after that. Jenny would call occasionally, but I'd ignore it. No matter her intentions now, I wouldn't go back. I focused on directing every day, even though it was tiring and unfamiliar. But I rediscovered the joy and satisfaction of directing. I didn't feel exhausted at all. The day to go to the marriage registration office came quickly. I got up early and waited outside, but no Jenny in sight. I called, but no answer. Frustrated, I stormed back home. Opening the door, I saw her lazily sitting on the couch. She just glanced up, saying, "Oh, you're back." Seeing her nonchalant attitude, I chuckled in disbelief. Why didn't you go to the registration office? I never planned on getting a divorce, David. Come back home. Okay? Seeing her so self-assured left me speechless. What makes you think I'd come back? She was confident because you love me. I smirked. And Mark? You're okay with him being your sidekick? At Mark's name, she seemed a bit uneasy but still said, "It's fine like this. We'll just keep our secret marriage, and I'll pair with him on screen." So that was the plan, having it both ways. Juggling relationships. I couldn't believe I ever liked someone like this. I laughed mockingly, eyes filled with disdain. Jenny, what do you think you are? If I hadn't gone out drinking and schmoozing for you, getting resources, you'd never been a star. Without you, I'll live just fine, even better than before. Hearing this, Jenny's face darkened and she angrily said, "Fine. Then I'll see just how well you can do." Ignoring her snarky comments, I just turned around and left. Ever since that day, I've been obsessed with making movies. I sleep on set whenever I'm tired. I haven't been in touch with Jenny. In fact, I haven't heard from her in a long time. I've only heard that Jenny and Mark haven't been acting for quite a while either. Sometimes they pop up on trending news, caught by random strangers while dating. There are occasional stories about them traveling together. After months of hard work, my first directed film finally wrapped up successfully. Just a few days after its release, box office sales soared. The theaters were packed. Stella ended up going viral too, becoming the hottest actress lately. She called me to say thanks and promised she'd never forget my help. Even those who doubted me in the past called to congratulate me. I dialed up my mentor Henry to thank him for the opportunity. He said, "No need to thank me. You earned it. I knew you had it in you." A month later, the film's buzz was still going strong. I won the Best New Director award at a ceremony. During my acceptance speech, I started by thanking everyone. My eyes scanned the audience, landing on Jenny and Mark, who were clapping with complex expressions. I smirked a bit. Besides thanking the people mentioned, I have a special thanks for someone else. Jenny, my wife. The crowd went wild. Cameras quickly focused on me. Jenny's face turned dark, her eyes filled with shock and a warning. I had one more cheerful announcement to share with everyone. Today is our 7th wedding anniversary. I pulled out our marriage certificate. The camera zoomed in on it. I paused and smiled, but due to some reasons, we're getting a divorce. Best wishes to Mark and Jenny. My light-hearted tone contrasted with the uproar in the room. The comments section exploded. Some online folks started calling them names. Everyone's attention was on them, whispering. Jenny and Mark turned different shades of red, staring at me incredulously. Camera even switched over to them, and they squirmed uncomfortably under everyone's gaze. Seeing I'd achieved what I'd aimed for, I walked away, leaving behind a cool image. Once the ceremony ended, I took a separate route I had prepped, slipping out unnoticed. Meanwhile, the press flooded the auditorium. Some angry people even hurled bottles at them, forcing them to flee. After that day, Jenny and Mark's careers nosedived. They faced public scorn, and brands canceled endorsements. They were left with hefty breach of contracts. Jenny sought help from everyone, but no one wanted to assist her. They haven't appeared much on the big screen since. One day, as usual, I got up to go to work, and there was Jenny at my door. She looked worn down, a far cry from her old stunning self. "David, I was wrong before. I didn't realize how good you are." Her words made me chuckle inside. Never thought I'd hear that from her. I scoffed, perfect timing. "Since you're here, let's head to the civil affairs office now." She couldn't believe my coldness. I was serious, Jenny. I'm not kidding. If you want me to show any ounce of care left between us. She realized I was firm and beyond reconciliation. "Is there no turning back?" I nodded, "Nope." She took a deep breath, full of regret. "I understand. Let's go then." An hour later, we walked out with our divorce papers. It was a relief for me. Jenny noticed my smile and it pained her. "David." I cut her off, waved goodbye, signaling nothing more needed to be said, and hopped into a cab. After that, Jenny would call me occasionally, but I didn't answer. The damage she did was irreparable, and forgiveness wasn't on the table. Both her and Mark faded from fame. I heard they didn't end up together either. Jenny couldn't provide Mark with opportunities anymore, so he ditched her, sneaking back to his hometown. Over time, I became a well-known director. Everyone was eager to collaborate. My career thrived with a bright future ahead.